Well, me, I liked, I enjoyed. If we can talk spoilers, can we talk spoilers? We could talk about
Yes.
details in the
Mm.
series. I really enjoyed the challenge of having to portray Ben. You know, that was a really fun challenge for me. It was sort of like a kind of a Laurel and Hardy sketch. If some for some reason Laurel had to play Hardy and the other way around, so um, it was good. It was fun because you had to kind of flex the acting muscles, and I had something to worry about. You know.
Yeah, I think for me it was when Diego got taken to the commission. That was probably fun.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
some lovely scenes with Herb. You and
Yeah,
Herb had a
they're
nice
brilliant.
little chemistry going on.
Yeah, it was so funny in the 10th episode we did a handshake that was so when we were shooting it, it sounded like a good idea, but when we were done filming it, I was like, that's probably the stupidest thing I've ever done. And they kept it, which I thought was so
It's a
cool.
great moment. It's brilliant.
Yeah, you're both so committed to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good.
The truth is that I actually made it up with Ritu Arya, who plays Lila. We had made it up in the beginning, and she was pretty mad at me for passing it on between Kent and myself and using that. But I think we're okay. We're okay now.
I think my favorite storyline, certainly what I enjoyed shooting the most this year, was the struggle that Luther has between the two fives, the old five and the young five, both trying to kill each other, and him trying to keep the peace and just keep us all on track. His struggle with that and his dilemma of trying to keep keep the violence away from both of them, I think is and the 7 stages was a lot of fun to do. So yeah.
Of course he said that. I just to speak on that really quickly before I give my real answer. It was incredibly annoying to have Robert Sheehan imitating me all season long so he could do those possession scenes. Every time I would say something to him, he would just repeat after me and try to copy my voice and my cadence. And I just wanted to strangle him. But I still love the guy. I still do. I love the possession scene as well. That was a lot of fun to shoot. But I have to be honest, I would probably say my favorite scene to shoot was the scene in episode 9 with Vanya, just because it was my first time really getting to speak to another sibling. And it was so weird. It was so weird. I remember seeing Ellen Page that day and just like hugging her for 2 minutes and going, I get to talk to you today. This is going to be so fun. So I again, I love Mr. Sheehan, but it was really nice to speak to someone else. And obviously it's an incredibly emotional, moving scene. And so to be able to do that as well was a lot of fun as an actor.
I think, the storyline in terms of Vanya falling in love for the first time and, falling in love with Sissy and it being in the 60s, obviously still anti-LGBTQ rhetoric and laws, etc., is still very much a part of society. But, back when it was illegal and considered a mental illness, and just wanting to be really mindful of that storyline, wanting to show, how much love and joy, of course, that they experience, and the beauty that they experience, and as well as, reflecting the obstacles at the time, and wanting to find that balance. And I was fortunate to work with the incredibly talented Marin Ireland. And I hope that's what we managed to do. But yeah, I suppose that's something I was excited about, to know that storyline was going to be in a show that just has the level of reach that we're grateful that this show has. And so yeah, that's really it.
I really enjoyed what we've kind of dubbed as the rumor rampage.
where she kind of is using, I mean, for us and for the audience and for me as Emmy the actor, the first time we're actually really seeing Allison use her powers. And, you know, I think I that whole episode I really enjoyed, you know, the beginning montage where you kind of like see what happened to Allison after she landed and got chased by those guys and runs into the beauty salon, and then how she kind of starts to establish her life and her new hairstyle, and and then how she meets Ray, and then, you know, and then I think it's really beautiful in that moment, you know, later where she you know, has to tell him about her powers, and then he's kind of like prove it. And I think that, like, you know, that competitive side of her that's so much, you know, the young Allison. I think when we have, you know, Eden and all of the younger kids doing all the scenes in the first season, as the younger siblings, the teenage siblings, I think that competitive nature comes out. And it's like something that she just can't help but dip her toe into. And then I think it's really interesting to watch how it kind of manifests into this like darker, it's like all fun and games. And then we do get a glimpse of like, what would happen if Allison used her powers in this moment, in the movement that she is a part of. And I think that that is a perfect window as to like, oh yeah, maybe it's a good thing that she's not using her powers. Right. And she's actually has made the decision to use her actual voice and not take advantage of her powers to like promote change and be, you know, I think she's learning to use her voice as her power in a very different way. But I think that the end of the Rumor Rampage is kind of a little window into like how she can't be trusted, I think, with her powers completely. I think she still doesn't respect them, and I think she, you know, takes advantage of them and doesn't totally understand them. And when given the opportunity, how she kind of seeks revenge on the diner manager is, you know, it's kind of like. But then also I'm like, if there's a third season, I want to get to know that Allison. Like, what's that about? It's like really dark and there's a lot there. So that's also to show a little bit of that is like, I want more of that. If there's a third season, I'm interested to see like where that came from.